Hello, 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 my friends. I'm AJ Smith, she, her, the Joy Weaver. Welcome to the Oh My Goodness podcast. Today, I want to talk about when we're like, I'm not in the mood for joy. I don't want it. Doesn't sound fun. No, thank you. Go find someone else. Not today, sir. I said good day. Like those times that we're like, what if I literally did anything else? And so this is the end of week one of Absurdist Delight. When you listen to this, it'll be 4 weeks from now, I think. So we're going to be halfway in. So it'll be interesting to like see how this resonates for some people as we're halfway in, but I'm recording this here. What we're finding is the joy resistance, which is why we're doing this whole thing in the first place, right? Um, and what is fascinating is sometimes we think resistance means no joy, no soup for you. And last week's podcast episode, we talked about this, right? We talked about the too much voice of when, like, oh, your joy's being too much. Like, I don't really know. Like, simmer it down. Like, do you really need? Maybe it was 3 weeks ago. But there's different layers, right? There's different pieces that say different things. And so the too much, you can be like, they can choke, they can go find less. There's the dismissive kind of energetic freedom that comes from, well, then I'm just not your type. That's okay. But then there's other layers of resistance of, I am too tired for joy. I don't care enough to do the joy. It doesn't feel worth my time. It's raining outside. Today we had Pride here in Mississippi and it was downpouring when I woke up. Also, oh my God, I slept in for 4 hours. I woke up at 8:30. It was glorious. If you're like giving me the side eye for waking, I know, I understand, but I need my celebrations. So let me have this. If you're like 8:30 is my normal wake up time, I love this for you as well, right? But you're going to bed later than I am. I'm not a night owl. I stop functioning after like 8 p.m. If I'm not dancing, you don't want me up late. I'm just a little gremlin. So, like, like the goblet or what is it? Yeah, the gremlins can't be in water after midnight. Don't put, I mean, I will be in the hot tub after 8 p.m. But I need to be in bed by like 9. This is just how my body works. Your body work can be totally different. So, no judgment, all delight. Okay, but it was downpouring this morning when I woke up and we had plans to go to Pride and I was so excited. And I was like, mm, what if, what if I didn't? What if I didn't? And then I was like, well, and then I was like, well, we should. I should go do the things. And then I laid in bed for an hour because this was like my first free Saturday in I don't actually don't know, months, probably months. And and I just laid in bed for an hour. I think I watched some White Collar. I read for a little bit and I was like, okay, I should go eat breakfast if I'm going to do something today. I had things I want to get done today. None of them got done. And then it's like 10:40. It's still downpouring. I'm like, you know what though? Pride sounds so nice. Also, my friends are going. So I want to go hang out with my friends. I was like, okay, yeah, this will be nice. It'll be fun. And also, it only like one day a year is Pride. I mean, like we are here for a queer celebration all year. Also, call your Congress people, your representatives. I think there's 746 bills nationally against queer rights. Like, God, this administration just fish shaking the world with you right now. If you're just like, AJ, I know. So back to the plot. So I was standing in my bathroom. I was like, well, I guess I could just wear clothes. I was like, AJ, we're not going to Pride just wearing clothes. Come on. And I'm like, I'm just not in the mood. I just like, when you just feel kind of like listless, like you don't really feel like purposeful. You're like, I could do this. I could do this. And I was like, okay, we're going to Pride. We're getting ready. We're getting hyped up. So I was like, well, I shouldn't even put on my ears. Like this is me. This is me, AJ, the Joy Weaver, saying like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. Plus, I said I was going to do it for 30 days. Part of that is the experiment. Remember, like we keep coming back to all of this is more information, right? So I'm like putting in my ears and I'm like, okay, we're going to have fun. Like this will be good. And then I have a swimsuit from Flaxmaker Swim, not an ad. They're just great. That has a cover up. So it looks like a dress, but it's a swimsuit. Oh, it's marvelous. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to get wet, at least I'll dry fast, right? And I put on my stuff. I grabbed my sparkly rain boots and I start packing up and they're like, okay, we're on our way. And I did my makeup. I'm like, okay, we got this. I'm like, hey, you know what? My original plan was to be there for 5 hours, but let's just go. Even if it's only for an hour, I will be glad I went. And I get to hang out with Jess, who's phenomenal, and meet one of her work friends. it's going to be a good day. Bare minimum, it'll be a good story. Get to maybe buy some like rainbow earrings or some fun things, get to see some drag queens. Like, that's a good day. I like these things. And there's a little part of me inside that's like, and also we could chill on the couch and not do anything. And I was like, okay, you can just be a cozy potato, but we're going to go be a cozy potato at Pride and then we can come home and chill in the hot tub. And I was like, okay. So I got my little butt into the car and we drove and we had a lovely, delightful time. We stayed for a couple hours. And I was like, you know what sounds really good? Chips and salsa. And they're like, it does sound good. So after Pride, we went and got chips and salsa and had a lovely afternoon, then came home, immediately disrobed and hopped in the hot tub. And I was like, yes. Am I glad I went to Pride? Yes. Am I glad I also got the hot tub time? Yes. And then I've chilled for a little bit, just relaxing. But so often we make it like either or, right? That we're like, okay, the joy has to be full out. You have to do Pride all day. You have to go to the event all day. You have to go balls to the wall you with your outfit or something. Otherwise, the joy doesn't count. Did we lose points by not staying till like Pride completely ended? Which, I mean, it's going to like 1 p.m., 1 a.m. tonight. There's like after parties, and that sounds so much fun. I do not have the energy for that. And it started at 10, but we showed up at 12. Like, so often we're like, well, the day's already half gone. Well, does it really count anymore? It's halfway through the year. And it's like, what is that of just like, well, it doesn't really matter. And I think sometimes it's because it feels a little bit safer to then be nonchalant about going after joy, because if you don't go after it and you don't get it, you don't feel it, then like, okay, it was never yours to begin with. But if you try for it, you go, and then it doesn't turn out the way you want, or you don't get the feeling or the high that you want, it's like a letdown. It's a bigger letdown, right? But the thing is, and I haven't dived into this like I want. I think I told you about the Jewish wedding I went to, and they were saying that there's 10 words for joy. And I was like, oh, my life. That we're putting joy on this pedestal of like this elated, like ecstasy feeling without taking into account. There's also this like gratefulness. There's cozy joy. There's wonder. There's delight. There's just appreciation. There's more spaciousness of like, I got out of my house. Like sometimes do you ever get that? Like you just get itchy and you're like, okay, I gotta go move my body. I gotta go do something. I just gotta get out of here. Right. Like I just gotta get out of here. Isn't that a song? I don't know. It's in the back of my brain, but I want to give you permission to do the least. If you're like, no, okay, what's 5% of the idea you originally had? Can you do that? Like, can we lower the bar? And if you're like, AJ, that's not the point. The point is to go full out, full speed. I am a champion's daughter. I understand this. And I also understand the all or nothing mindset that keeps us trapped, right? We've talked about light switching before. I think I did a podcast episode on this. But we've talked about light switching, right? Where it's either on or it's off. No. A, that's not sustainable. B, that's not how things work. Everything's a spectrum. So if we can put joy on a spectrum, if we can put practicing, if we can put willingness, right? I am willing to get ready for the thing. Okay, I don't know how long I'm going to be there. I'm going to work out 5 days a week from nothing. I mean, sure, maybe eventually, but like, what if we just start with, I'm going to move my body 2 days a week? Like, I'm going to go for a walk and maybe look into a gym membership. I'm not trying to pee on your parade. I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm saying, how can we make this sustainable and integrated into your practices? If we set this up of every day, I have to feel elated and amazing, and I'm doing this absurdist delight challenge and it's got to go all out. Okay, but then are you going to burn out and then feel bad and guilty because you didn't do it full out? Or like, I talk about full out, but it's full out in the showing up every day with curiosity and openness for what's there. Do you see the difference? Like there's this full out like pressure, and then there's full out like willingness to be present with what is. And some days we're cozy little potatoes whose nervous systems are catching up to us. You heard, or maybe you didn't listen. That's okay too. But you can always go back and listen. I guess the power of the podcast. My golden headaches episode of my business is growing faster than it ever has in my life. And I am in the middle of redoing some systems, figuring out new rhythms with Jess, my VA, and and how I'm running like my schedule. And it's weird. I am in a messy middle moment right now where I'm like, okay, this is great. And also, hold on, let me hold them into my pants. Give me like 1 week. Like, okay, like there's a couple balls dropping. And people were like, hey, I thought you were going to fill this out this week. I was like, I'm coming. Hold on. And then for my own joy, I'm like, oh, there's these things I want to make. And then I'm like, cool, but with what time? With what time? And then here I am on Saturday. It's Saturday night, actually. If you're like, AJ, why are you recording a podcast on Saturday night? It's because I felt the nudge and I am here. I'm here because sometimes we just put off the things we're excited about and it's weird. And like, we don't always know what to do with it, right? And sometimes there's executive dysfunction, right? There's looping. I caught myself looping today and I was like, why am I doing this? And I was like, yes, I did not take my meds yet. But also I was like, it's been, there's that song. It's been a really, really, really rough week. 7 days of torture, 7 days of bitterment. I don't know the song. What is it? I can't remember. But it's been a marvelous week. But my body is tired. She's tired. She's tired. I've got body work on Monday. But I'm also like, maybe I hit my breaker switch today. And I just need a chill Saturday evening where I'm just getting odds and ends done. Not really necessarily being productive. I'm doing a few things here and there, but also I'm doing that thing called chilling, which I'm not that great at, but it's a practice. It's a practice. We're practicing it, right? And I just wanted to speak to those of you who are like, joy is too much work or it's too high and I feel too low right now. I'm not asking you to like quantum leap to delight right now. What would make you feel a little bit cozier or a little more comfier or a little happier, a little more content, right? There's like an emotional scale that we step up. So often when we talk about affirmations, and God, I have so many feelings about affirmations. Maybe we should have a whole affirmation episode. Here's my thoughts. Your body knows when you're lying. When you're lying, which is why sometimes when I'm in my one-on-ones, I'll tap my mouth and I'll say something, and then I'll gesture to my client that I'm serving, and I'm like, I am worthy of joy, and then they're like, no, and I'm like, I know you don't believe it. Can we try saying it? And they're like, I'm maybe willing, maybe worthy of joy, and I'm like, perfect. How'd that feel? And they're like, absolutely terrible. And I'm like, okay, can we try saying, I am theoretically willing to try believing that I might possibly be worthy of joy. And then that they can say it and it lands. And I'm like, okay, there's our open space. Do you see how many disclaimers had to go in that sentence to make it fit in their body in a way that could land? And that's what I mean when I say access point, because sometimes that's where we got to start. If you're like going from, I'm not worthy of joy and I think I'm stupid and broken, to I'm worthy of joy and everything is good in this world and I'm beautiful and fantastic. I mean, you can say that as an affirmation, but there's going to be a dissonance of like, yeah, but that's not true and actually feels kind of rude. Now there's stretchy affirmations, right? If you can picture it and you can see it, and there's something about speaking it over yourself in like present format. There are things I speak over myself every day, my goals that aren't true yet, but I'm like, this is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm living into. And I'm living as future me and bringing her in. But there are some things that I got to couch in a couple disclaimers so that I can say it without my body like revolting in it. So like, I'm not ever saying anything to you that I don't actually practice. The reason we call it a practice is because it is. And if we're not judging ourselves for being like, hey, I've got to turn down the resistance, or today I got to use lighter weights at the gym because it's been a big week and I just got my period and I'm really tired. The kids have been a lot, or like whatever, the weather's changing, my bones hurt. Then why are we judging ourselves for when we had a big week and we're really tired on the weekend? We had all these plans and then we're like, I got to change them. I got to shift a little bit. I said I'd be out all day, but like, I'll come out this afternoon. I need a slower morning. Look at you listening to your body and what you need, right? And so often when we feel that dissonance of like, I'm not in the mood, or I don't really want to, or like I don't have time and energy, we're like, oh, that means nothing. That means none of it is available. Instead of, hey, I don't have energy for this full day, but I could push through and just go. I can suck it up and go. I mean, that's always an option, right? And sometimes that works out great and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my dog on the couch getting into things, but she's fine. Two, you can say no and not go to anything, but then you're also going to maybe miss out on stuff that you wanted to go to, right? Like we have these different parts. We've talked about them. Like, is that big soul speaking? Like, I need to stay home today. Or is it just a part that's like, I'm so tired and life was so big. And also, this is too much. And then three, I'm sure there's other options, but three is, hey, what does feel good today? What feels doable? Because sometimes it's kind of like working out. Okay, can we go like clean for 5 minutes? We don't have to clean for an hour, but after 5 minutes, maybe you're like, you know what? Let me put away these five things in addition to those few things I did, right? Okay, I've been here for an hour. You know what? Let's stay for another hour. I'm having fun. You know what? We drove here. Let's go do this other thing. It's all good. I'm in. Sometimes we got to like warm up, right? Just like you got to warm up a car in the wintertime. Sometimes we got to warm up our attitude. We got to put on a playlist. We got to put on clothes that bring us joy. You're watching this on YouTube. You're like, AJ, what are you wearing? Yes, it is a t-shirt. Yes, I do own t-shirts. I'm in my cozy clothes right now. Is my hair up in a little cute faux hawk from today, Pride? Yes. Do I still have my elf ears on? Yes. Should I probably wash my face in a little bit? Yes. But I was like, I think I'm going to record this because the both and is true. We are in cozy mode. And I was thinking about how part of me was like, I don't really want to today. And that almost kept me from a beautiful afternoon with my friends. Was it a full day? No. Was it a beautiful day? Am I glad I went? Yeah. Allow yourself to adjust to what you need and also get curious on what, like, maybe finding your edges, and there's a interesting, I'm just going to say it. There's an interesting thought out there, trying to say this without being like offensive in a weird way, where it's almost, if you're told to go do it anyways, sometimes people think of it as bypassing your boundaries or your limits or things like that. But I think there is power in saying, hey, I'm not there 100% to go. I don't know why Disney World is on the top thing of my head because that's such a ridiculous. If you're going to Disney World, you're going to Disney World, right? But like to go to the brunch, but you're like, oh, I'm not really willing. Sometimes just showing up, even willing to have a little fun, even if you're not full ready to have fun. Then you see your friends and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. I love this. Oh yeah. Like sometimes we have these little forgetters that are like, oh yeah, this is really nice. Like, of course, of course. And that's okay. But if you just let it be okay that you're like, you know what, I'm willing to be curious. Aaron Sparrow, I think was their name, gave a talk last year at KP. That was phenomenal. And I tried to get them on the podcast and then they had a bunch of stuff come up. So maybe someday. But the way they were talking about this, and I need you to hear me, so don't get weird about this. They were talking about how often in games there's this whole thing about enthusiastic consent, like you got to fully opt in. And they were saying that, like, but sometimes you don't know if you want to be in a scene, like, I don't know, two people are arguing about what to do with the potion class, or I'm just making something up. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay or if I go, but there's like willing curiosity, willing consent of like curiosity, like, okay, I'll be here and then I'll opt out when I need to be. But there's something about that gray area. And I'm not talking about sex right now. So just that's a whole different conversation. But when it comes to putting ourselves in spaces of possibility of joy, we're putting ourselves in the pathway of possibilities, in the pathway of something happening. But if we don't do the things, if we don't take a step, the universe can't meet us in the new place. I mean, yes, the universe can meet us where we are, but often, in my experience, the universe is waiting for us to take a step. Spirit's like, I'm here. You asked for me here, but like, you also have to go. You also have to take a step. You got to show me that you also want this, because also you have to move towards the things that you want. If you want more joy in your life, you have to do the things to get more joy in your life. It's like, okay, this is a giant pet peeve of mine. And honestly, I might sound like a petty fish. So welcome to that side of me. Military people who move to new places and then say they want friends, but then refuse to go to any friend dates, friendship making opportunities, no spouses club, no adventures club, no movie club, no neighborhood gatherings, nothing, and then complain they have no friends, confuse the shit out of me. I understand if you're an introvert, but friends don't just pop up at your door. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you'll have somebody knock on your door with cookies when they just move in, but like, I'm just saying, I've moved a lot of times. I have always been the cookie giver. I don't think I've ever actually received cookies. Has that been true? Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever received cookies from anybody that's moved in, which is fine. I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying the likelihood is way lower than it used to be in the 50s. Okay. So when you want something, you need to make a move. And I say this with all of the love in the world, but I think there's a lot of pandering to nervousness when really we need to give encouragement cushion and like a little power nudge to do the thing in a way that is accessible for you. Do you hear me in what I'm saying? Because like, I think sometimes there's an enabling of our comfort zone that gets in the way of us actually doing the things we want. Growth is uncomfortable in weird ways, in stretchy ways, in ways that make you want to crawl out of your body. I cannot tell you the number of times I have called a coach or been on a call or texted somebody and been like, oh my God, I want to vomit. I did the thing. I made the post. I like recorded the podcast. Y'all have no idea how many times after recording a podcast, I've like turned it off and I'm like, ooh, that was very vulnerable. And I'm like, should I delete it? Should I delete it? Like, should I post this? Like, what are people going to say? And I'm like, no, no, no. If I said it, it's for a reason. We're just going to leave it. And that's part of the reason why I don't edit these either, is I'm trying to trust the flow, but also I am practicing being vulnerable on here to be like, here is my heart. I hope you hear it, especially right now in a world where everything is so edited and so that I just want there to be a space where I can be like my friend and hold you by the face and kind of shake you a little bit and then like blow some glitter on you, edible of course, so it's not in your eyeballs, but like love on you and tell you like it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be stretchy and try new things. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're trying something new, and that's something to actually be proud of. Like celebrate the uncomfortable growth in the messy middle, because that's how we discover something new. We get more information when we're uncomfortable. When I say things and that I'm working towards in my business and my coach sees me like squirm, she'll be like, what's that? And I'm like, well, like, what if I message people and then they hate me and then they tell me that they never want to be friends with me? And she's like, well, sounds like they wouldn't want to be friends with you in the first place if you think this would be good for them. Right when I was doing Absurdist Delight launch, she was like, hey, have you messaged people that you think are interested? And I'm like, well, no, because then what? And they're like, she's AJ, like, if it's a good fit, they're gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't know about this. Thank you so much. And if it's not, they'll be like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me, but it's not. Or they'll ignore you. All of which has happened. All of which has happened. Nobody has told me you're a terrible person. Why are you messaging me? You suck. Never talk to me again. But like in my brain, I was like, oh, I'm going to offend everybody. And so this was an edge for me, and it was uncomfortable, but also it was stretchy. And then I was like, oh, look, I didn't die. Oh my gosh, I'm okay. Okay. Now I can take up a little bit more space. Like you learn by doing, right? Kids learn by walking and crawling and making mistakes and running their heads in the sides of tables and things. And we're like, okay, you're okay, you're okay. Like kids are very durable. And then we forget that we are essentially also kids. We are also learning. In the scheme of things, mountains are thousands of years old. We are like what? 100 and under, 105 and under, 130 and under. Even though I tell people when I'm in fairy form, I'm 621, I'm only 37. Right? I know I look 621, but like it's the blueberry masks. But all joking aside, I want you to really think about how often you let, I'm not in the mood, I don't have time. This is stupid. There's no reason to do this anyways. That like emo part of us, like Inside Out too. There's like that emo one that's like, ugh, whatever. How often are you letting that win? Like, let's be real. Let's be real. How often are you letting that win? And then here's my next question. Do you want that to continue to win? Because here's the kicker. It doesn't have to. And it can be chitter chattering. I think here's the thing that I think people get stuck with. Because I've been practicing this so long, I'm okay holding both. I've gotten much better at holding both. Could I used to? No, absolutely not. I would be a mess. I'd be calling in the court, like crying in the corner. Ask my husband. Like we had a podcast episode. I think he talked about like I was not. I'd be like crying about stuff all the time. It's just like I don't think I could do this. I'm like, what am I thinking? Who am I? And da. But we can hold both. We can hold the like, I don't know if this is going to work. And also, like, I'm willing to try. If we can let that, I'm willing to practice believing this, have 51% stake. We have seen whole companies do crazy ass shit with 51% stake. Don't even get me started about the vacation place in Okoboji that we go to every year for Jared's family. There's a guy who has 51% stake and he's like driving the place into the ground. It's a whole scandal. Like, it's crazy. Ugh, ugh. I just, when people don't want nice things for other people, it just infuriates me. But if you can give that part that's willing 51% stake, the other part doesn't have to be silent. Give it a snack. Be like, I know, I know. Who knows how long we're going to stay? I don't know. We're about to go find out more information. Treat yourself like a toddler. Treat yourself like a toddler. Talk to yourself like a toddler. Be kind and gentle to yourself. So often people are like, shut up, go away. And like, I'll do that in our calls, right? Sometimes I'm like, okay, we're talking to this person right now. Like, can that person like go have a massage or go over here and watch a Disney movie? We're never telling some apart to like shut up and be silent. We're just like, oh, hey, thank you so much for trying to participate. I have a task for you over here. You're going to be my special helper. Sort, 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 swipe, swipe, swipe. So we can get to the part that actually needs us in that moment. And that's all I'm asking you to do. What's your fear like? Hey, Joe, you're asking me a lot. It's a practice. It's a what? Practice. Okay. So let me know how this resonates. Throw in a comment. Send this to somebody that you're like, hey, this was made for you. Because, and we're having this chat in absurdist delight. So I'm not calling anybody out specifically if you're like, AJ, were you thinking about me and when you were recording this? Maybe, but I'm also thinking about 10 other people right now and all these different conversations. So this is not a shout out to just a single person. So if you're like, I feel called out, well, maybe that's information for you then about how we can love on ourselves better, right? The reason I make podcasts is because I feel called out. And that's what I want to share at this moment. So we can be called out together. It's not a bad thing. It's really like a calling in because I'm not saying you don't get to sit here. I'm saying, hey, why don't you think you get to sit here? I'm telling you, you get to sit here. Here's a way to allow yourself to sit with me in choosing a more joyful life, a more aligned life, and a life where you're a little bit kinder to yourself. Because right now you're kind of like being a little harder on yourself and you don't have to. You don't have to. Or you're running yourself ragged and you don't have to. You don't have to. Or you're like allowing yourself joy, but then feeling guilty about it. And you don't have to. You don't have to. There's a lot of things to feel guilty about. Joy is not one of them. Stealing is one of them. Embezzlement is one of them. Being mean to people is one of them. Joy is not. Joy is not on the guilt or the shame list. That's a lie. Yeah, it's a lie. We can just call that right now. I will sign an affidavit saying that. Okay. Okay. So remember that you are a sparkly little potato. And I love you so much. And you are amazing. And also, are you Alto? Maybe I'll end all these with like, are you Alto? Are you hungry, angry, lonely, tired, overwhelmed? Do we need a snack? Do we need a snack? Orgasm? Nap? Brush our teeth? A shower? Run around the block? I don't know. Call a friend? Let's take a few deep breaths. We're just going to reset. You did good today. Proud of you for listening to this, right? There's so many things you could be listening to. Take another deep breath. But you chose to lean into, hey, is there a way I could access joy a little more, right? Take another deep breath. Oh, today is a new day, or maybe today's an end of the day and tomorrow's a new day. Either way, it's not too late. It's never too late for joy. It's like a wizard. you arrive precisely when you meant to, right? So sing your soul song. Have a fabulous day. And I love you so much. And I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.